Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, the NASCAR Cup Series will head to the Old Spice Speedway for the running of the Old Spice 500 on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. Our custom schedule season continues for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. 12 races to go into crowning a champion. A 48-point lead for Greg Biffle over second-place driver in the point standings, Dale Earnhardt Jr. What will happen during this fantasy road course race tonight on the channel? Just have to wait and find out. It is a long one, probably going to be the longest race of the season. 500 miles, 333 laps around a mile-and-a-half road course. It's going to be a test of endurance, to say the least. And maybe we get to see somebody perhaps maybe close in on the two championship front runners this season, and being Dale Jr. and Greg Biffle. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into tonight's live stream. Full race, realistic NASCAR commentary for the video games during the week and the races on the race weekend. I was at Dirt Bristol this weekend, so you guys might have seen a lot of highlight videos from both heat races for the Truck and the Cup Series, as well as both races Saturday and Sunday night as well. And prediction video, post-race just uploaded earlier today, but now we are back to live streaming for the first time in 4 nights on the channel. So thank you everybody for the appreciation and support on those videos this weekend. We hit over 25,000 views on one of the race highlight videos this weekend. That was extraordinary. Greatly appreciated. I was not expecting that this weekend, to say the least, but it seemed like you guys liked the content, and proud to give you guys that content when I go to the tracks on the race weekends. But live commentary for real races will continue next weekend at Talladega for the NASCAR Cup Series. You won't want to miss that. You won't want to miss this race tonight. Michelle Marie, Cave Miller, Davion West, Derek Booth, Joshua Rumsey, Mark DeMars, Billy Kramer, Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream. You guys were the first down in the chat below. Thanks for sticking it out. Just got done eating my post-workout meal, protein meal-ish, dinner-ish, because it's the last meal I have to eat today. So, done with that. Let's get into this race. It's going to be a long one. I don't want to waste any other time. Greg Biffle will be starting on the pole in the Subway. Ford Taurus, green flag is in the air, and Biffle will lead the field into turn 1 as he got a great jump off the start. Quickly got a pull up in front of Jeff Gordon on the outside. Dale Jr., who qualified in 3rd place right behind him, is on the bottom. And here we go, in through turns 1 and 2. Dale Jr.'s off into the grass, and so is Dale Jarrett back behind him as they try to work themselves in line. Jr. making that mistake is going to allow for Gordon to be clear in 2nd place into turn 3 as Greg Biffle trying to pull away a couple car links on the 24 of Gordon. Yeah, there were a couple rain delays that definitely made the race a little lengthy, but it was well worth the stay. I always have to stay to the end also. Wow, big loose moment by Biffle. Big wheel hop with the rear tires. He did a great job holding on to the race car. Dive bomb move for 2nd for Dale Jr. to get past Jeff Gordon. Jarrett to the inside of Gordon out for 3rd. And Biffle will still lead lap 1. That will give him 5 bonus points for leading a lap. That was a big wheel hop by Greg Biffle, excuse me. And now 2 more cars in the grass again. Dale Jr. and Dale Jarrett going wide. And now there's contact between Gordon and Jr. into turn 3, allowing Biffle to pull away a little bit more again. Goodness, Biffle's all over the place. In this area of the racetrack, these final 2 corners, just trying to protect the bottom right now. Gordon went too far wide. Dale Jr. again makes the pass for 2nd place as Biffle leads lap number 2. Yeah, I saw your comment also in the chat, Derek. Glad to see everything seems to be going all right for what it's worth. Biffle is just not happy with that race car right now as he makes his first mistake, major mistake that time. Cracking the wall in that short chute in between turns 4 and 5. Still holds on to the lead as he makes a big block on Jeff Gordon in the 24. Back to the outside and then back to the inside as they cross the bridge before working their way into turn 1 again. Jeff Gordon going to go way wide. Oh, and he cleans out the race leader! Both cars into the outside wall in turn 2. Caution is out already. Jeff Gordon coming in hot. Just cleaned himself as well as Greg Biffle out, and Dale Jr. is going to get to the lead. Gordon came in with a head of steam, and that is not something you want to see in the early going of a long race. Heavy damage to the back of really both race cars, and Biffle will have to pit now. Heavy damage to the right rear corner panel of that race car. First damage from the big hit, of course, from Gordon. The second part of the damage was backing it into the guardrail on the outside of turn 2, and that was really nothing of Biffle's own fault there. On lap 4, we have our first caution of the race. Remember, Jeff Gordon came in third in the point standings. He cut it under 300 points back with a win a few races ago, trying to put a late charge. And remember also, Greg Biffle only 48 points ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Both, I should say all three really, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., Greg Biffle have wins on a road course this season. It was gutsy of Gordon, especially considering how early it is in the race.
We're starting in the back, so be careful and stay out of trouble.
Then Gordon stayed out of the pit, so he's going to be the leader on the restart. But he has some damage. The green flag is back in the air again. For the most part, they got the right rear corner panel fixed on the number 16 car, but it's not perfect by any means either. And now he's going to have to be careful back in traffic. Long race to go yet. Biffle is just trying to really feel his car out. He feels a lot looser than what he was in qualifying. When he qualified on the pole, the car felt a lot better. So he had the clean air, obviously, off the start, so I'm not sure what the deal was there. And honestly, if Gordon didn't take him out, I think he would have been able to figure things out. But now he's going to have to try and figure things out in traffic. A little bit of damage to the rear of the car may make the car a little bit looser on top of the fact that it was already loose, which could be problematic for the 16. Looking low underneath the 133. It locks the front tires up. The 133 making contact with both Biffle and the 144. Ricocheted off the 144 into the 16. Amazing how these cars are going really wide in turn 2, I noticed. I almost wonder if that's how Biffle got into the back of Gordon, even though it was more on the charge of corner entry when Gordon had gotten into the back of Greg Biffle. It definitely could have been a little bit worse if maybe it was on corner entry, and that would have sent those guys into the wall a bit harder than what they already were. And now the two Petty Enterprise cars get together. Petty was coming in hot, made a pass on Greg Biffle, and when he went into the corner, the 43 of Jeff Green pulled down right on top of him. Both the Petty cars wide. I think Green got a piece of the wall as well. Petty went into the grass. Biffle makes about 3 passes on the inside in turn 3 before dooring Bobby Boone up out of the way for 36th. Gordon continues to lead since the caution. Contact up ahead. Biffle locks the tires up. More of a safety precaution. Contact was between the 25 of Brian Vickers and the 42 of Casey Mears. One rookie, one driver in his second season full-time in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. The big dive bomb on McMurray. Looking to the outside of the 25 car. Vickers, who goes a bit wide. Big time crossover by Biffle. McMurray gets around Vickers. Biffle trying to do the same. coming in hot. Down on the bottom. Contact with Robbie Gordon. Terry Labonte off into the grass. There's another car up ahead in the grass. I think that's a 184 car. Slides past Jimmy Johnson alongside Brendan Gaughan for 25th. Jimmy Johnson way towards the back right now. I didn't expect Kyle Busch to win going into the race, but I had him on my fantasy team, and I felt after practices and qualifying that he was really fast. His heat race, I thought he was really, really good. I honestly thought of all the drivers in the heat races that didn't have dirt experience, Kyle Busch was the best of them, and I think that goes to show on Sunday as well. Biffle chopping off Johnson to try and get to the inside of the 77 car. Slides the rear tires, a little bit of a slide job maneuver in turn 3 to get around Gaughan. Ryan Rodriguez, welcome to the stream. Yes, we are. This is definitely going to be a long one today. We've already had one caution, and Biffle just about gets wiped out by Brendan Gaughan, who overshot the corner into him in turn 8, that finishing turn. Knocked him right up into Jimmy Johnson, who was on the outside. And I think that actually straightened the 16 car out when he made contact with the 48. Biffle's had a rough ride in the early going of this one. Just keeps getting ran over. Yeah, that was a nice pass by Rhodes. Just him working through the field. Even the slide job that ended up bringing out that last caution wasn't his fault. He never made contact with the car he made the slide job on. When he moved up, he was clear. It was a clean pass. 51, I think, might have gotten on the brakes a little too heavy in the middle of the corner, and he spun the rear tires, which is easy to do on dirt. So if he used just a little bit too much braking in the middle of the corner like that, he was going to spin out, and I think that's how that happened. Not quite able to beat Ward Burton back to the gas after taking a look to the inside in turn 3. Predicting 10 cautions in this race. I think knowing how long it is, it's definitely possible, especially considering we had one the early going. But Biffle just keeps getting ran over. Now he runs over the 0 of Ward Burton. That time was definitely Biffle's fault. He's not even going to make it to the end of the race if he keeps having heavy contact like this. And that's really only the first time he's gotten into another car himself. The rest of the contact has been from behind on him. Big dive down to the bottom in turn 3, making the pass on the 161, rubbing up alongside the 174 now and making his way back inside the top 20. Far from a clean race in the early going of this one, at least from our point of view, with the 16 of Greg Biffle. It's definitely allowing Jeff Gordon to go out and lead more laps. Dale Jr., I would have to think, is probably up there with him. Those are second and third in the point standings. Greg Biffle, of course, the points leader late in the season, and the next race on the season is going to be back under the lights for the third different race this season, points paying-wise, at Daytona. It's another 400-miler and another one under the lights for the running of the Florida 400. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Biffle has not fared well on the super speedways this season, especially in particular at Daytona. Rusty Wallace trying a bump and run move on the 105 car in front of him. It's really going to work there. Wallace going wide. Still staying alongside the 105, but as they stay side by side, Biffle will make it 3 wide into turn 3, clearing him with a bit of an aggressive move to get by the 2 car of Rusty Wallace, but it definitely worked. Biffle trying to be aggressive, getting this track position back as soon as he can. R6, welcome to the stream. I want to know down in the chat, how long do you think this race is going to take tonight? Do you think we see a new stream record for the longest race in channel history on the video game side of things? 5 hours, 6 minutes, Talladega infield ahead 36 yellows. That's the longest one so far. I don't even think we need that many cautions to get to that either, to be completely honest. Biff will just send it into that final corner to get around Casey Kane. Davion West says 4 hours. I definitely think it's going to be longer than our Coke 600, which was timed in at just over 3.5 hours. The longest race with not that many cautions was at Speedway Boulevard. That race took 4 hours and 3 minutes. Only had 5 caution flags. A little bit longer of a road course, but it was also a lot less laps at the same time. That was 175, if I remember correctly. Actually, no, that one was either 150 or 133. This is 333. Biffle on the inside of Michael Waltrip into turn 1. So put Waltrip on the bottom into turn 2. Biffle going to be able to actually pull clear on Waltrip, diving underneath the 6 of Martin, who goes wide. Waltrip's in the wall off the exit of turn 2. Biffle on the outside of his teammate Mark Martin, definitely trying to race his teammate cleanly. Still side by side, Martin holds clear. Crossover by Biffle to the bottom, but he'll be on the outside in turn 7, but turn 8 will go back to Biffle if he can hang on alongside the 6. So far, so good. Gonna try to outbrake him. Definitely able to do so. Didn't lock the tires up. Never had a wheel hop. Perfectly done. Biffle's up to P14. 5 hours, 7 minutes, Joshua Rumsey says. He says we're gonna break the record by 1 minute. I don't know how long I'm in stored for here. That's why I started it at 5 o'clock. Really unsure exactly how long this is going to take. And I'm really, really hoping this does not go to like 11 midnight. That's going to be rough. Greg Biffle on the inside of the 33 car of Paul Menard. He's going to make the pass. Menard going to overshoot turn 2. He's in the wall now. Just like Waltrip a couple laps ago. A lot of drivers have been overdriving turn 2 in particular today. It's where we saw our first caution of the race on lap 4. I would not be surprised if we see more cautions in that turn alone here throughout the course of this one. That last lap, by the way, was Greg Biffle's fastest in the early going in tonight's race at 46.372. This lap going to have to lock up the tires as he started to get a little out of shape and thought he was going to overdrive the corner. It was about 0.3 of a second slower than the lap prior. Nathan Elliott, welcome to the stream. Saw me from a distance at Dirt Bristol. Hopefully you enjoyed the race. Hopefully you stayed to the end as well. I'd say I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I figured I'd enjoy it just because I was seeing a race in person. And A race of any kind when you're there in person, I feel like enhances the action. But, I mean, a classic finish. Pretty good race. Honestly, if there was no major rain delay, I think it was going to be a... I'd say a 9 out of 10 race. If you set the rain delay aside. Not a 9 out of 10 dirt race, but a 9 out of 10 race itself. Now Bobby Labonte just overdrove turn 2. He piles into the wall. All it's going to take is for that car on the inside, if they're side by side ever in turn 2, which is a very tight corner as it is. But if they're side by side and that car on the bottom overruns it into the car on the outside and sandwiches somebody into the guardrail, that's where we could definitely see a caution flag happen. Look at Biffle, charge turn 8. It looked like Newman got a little out of shape and might have wheel hopped the rear tires on that race car. He almost lost the back end, and Biffle was able to dart underneath him, and now Biffle also underneath his teammate Jeff Burton in the 99, and he'll shoot the gap and make the pass in turn 1 with Burton going wide in turn 2. Into the wall goes Burton. Biffle to the inside of Wimmer for a spot. Locks the tires up to the apron in turn 3, and Biffle's up to P number 9. Oh yeah, pit passes. That's pretty cool. That was not Chase Briscoe's fault. Well, I think it is, but he didn't take him out intentionally by any means. And I also don't think he drove it aggressively. Oh my gosh. This car turned a little too early in turn 1 that time. He drove himself into the wall anyway. What I was going to say, I think it was Briscoe's fault, but from my end and from what I saw, it looked like when he tried the slide job, he got a little too loose, and that's what knocked him up the racetrack. Now, he probably did carry in a lot more speed than typical going into the corner, which caused the rear end of the car to slip out a little more, but he caught Tyler Reddick with the rear of his car. It wasn't like he caught it with the side of the 14 didn't catch it with the side of his car or the front of his car. He caught him with the right rear into the left rear of Reddick. So he just got too loose. Second lap in a row, Biffle's gotten into the inside wall in turn 1. Costing him time in trying to catch Elliott Sadler for 8th. I kind of get what you're saying when you say it's not Briscoe's fault. At the end of the day, I personally think it's Briscoe's fault. But at the same time, yeah, by no means he wasn't trying to take him out intentionally. I don't think he tried to wreck himself and Reddick. Well, no. But you also... One thing these drivers do have to understand, though, is the consequences of taking out the driver to their outside or driving it over aggressively going for the win. I mean, people are going to have every right to be upset with him. It seemed like Tyler Reddick wasn't as upset as I thought he'd be, especially being in this position so many weeks, it seems like, already this season. And even sometimes last year he was in position late to try and get that win. Just couldn't quite do it. Sadler gets the boot from Greg Biffle. Allows Biffle to get to the inside for 8th place. Side draft him as they cross the bridge now. Biffle will have the inside into turn 1. Sadler and Biffle make a little bit of contact. Biffle crowded the 38 quite a bit there. Ends up getting into the wall as the repercussion on the outside. And now he'll finally clear for 8th place on the M&M's 38 of Sadler. Briscoe's in the Nascar Hall of Fame. Oh, jeez. I didn't hear about that. Terry Road, welcome to the stream. He wanted to win, can't blame him. Nope, I don't blame him either. I'd rather, as much as it stunk for that to happen, I would rather that be the worst case scenario where he gets loose, catches another car. Honestly, I know it stinks for Reddick not winning, but with how hard Briscoe drove it in and the fact that Briscoe lost it into Reddick, that actually ended up, it could have been way worse for Reddick. I mean, he still finished second. In fact, Briscoe got the far worst end of it, finishing 22nd because he could get the car fired back up as quickly. I think he stalled out or something. Still definitely an unfortunate set of circumstances that he lost the race going for his first career win, but he could have been junked. Like, it could have been AJ Allmendinger at Coda. Like, he could have just gotten flat out junked. And I think honestly, what Chastain did, personally, as a retaliation or, you know, bumper put or aggressive move being put at Coda a couple weeks prior was worse than what Chase Briscoe did in this instance. I actually think what Chase Briscoe did even at Indy last year with Denny Hamlin after being black flagged and then going out practically dumping Hamlin, I thought that was far worse than what, you know, happened between Briscoe and Reddick this weekend. Jeff Gordon's got a little bit to lap traffic yet, but he is closely approaching it at the same time. Probably get there within about another 5 to 10 laps if I'd have to imagine. Not too many laps into this green flag run, all things considered either. Gordon's putting together some pretty good laps right now. Greg Biffle trying to do the same. About halfway on fuel. Remember, Biffle couldn't pit for fuel or tires. Not sure how many stops that we're going to have today with the Cup Series having their first trip to this racetrack. So knowing that we had 3 caution laps in the early going to this race, we're at lap 34 now. These guys are about 31 laps into the run. So we'll probably be seeing drivers pit on a wide range variety between laps 50 and 60 during a green flag run. Or a fuel run at that. No, I can't go 100 laps on fuel. We just hit halfway. We're going to have quite a few pit stops in tonight's race. A little loose on those older tires, trying to get the car to slow up as he nearly makes the pass on Kevin Harvick, but Harvick's still holding strong on the outside right now. Biffle trying to get away from the 29. Into turn 1 they go. Biffle going to be able to charge the corner on the bottom and make the pass as Harvick is going to go wide. And he is in the wall on the outside of turn 2, allowing Biffle to pull away. Biffle now with a charge under his teammate, Kurt Busch. Slide job up the track goes Biffle. A little bit too far wide, though. I thought when he went that far wide that Busch was going to be able to cross over the 16, but it never happened. Biffle really loose in turn 6, and here comes Busch to the outside. Biffle, strong charge on the bottom late into the braking zone in turn 8 and still holds clear of the 97 of Busch. Busch hard into turn 2, overdrives the corner, he's in the wall. He almost got into the back of his teammate. These two were going back and forth, but they did race each other clean. And Tony Stewart in 5th place right now. Next position ahead of Greg Biffle. Lap times have fallen off about 9/10 of a second. Just over halfway through the fuel run. I'd say this car is definitely on the ill-handling side right now for Greg Biffle. Just one more road course race on this Cup Series season. It comes late in the season at Watkins Glen. This is the final fantasy road course of the year. And by far the longest race, not only on a road course this season, but any race in general. Maybe not in mileage. The Coke 600 100 miles longer, also on a 1.5 miles, but considering this is a road course versus 1.5 mile oval, Lap times are going to be a bit longer in this one. It's probably going to lead to a much longer race. An extra 15 seconds a lap, really, which means every 4 laps is an extra minute compared to, say, Charlotte Motor Speedway. The race that is an extra 100 miles. They only had a couple cautions in the Coke 600 as well a few weeks ago. Go 60 laps on a tank, should be able to make it in 5 stops. That is true. I'm almost wondering, though, if I could go 62 laps, if I can save potentially one stop. Might have to go 63 on one of them. Which I think is possible, considering the fact that I think we'll get more cautions in this race. We've obviously already had one. But I think we can get more and potentially make it in... No, it'd still be 5 stops, never mind. Because let's say theoretically 60 laps plus add 8 more for 4 stops. 60 times 4 is 240 plus, yeah, so it's going to be 248 laps after the 4th stop. The 5th stop would be... probably a little less than 20 laps to go, if I'm thinking correctly. Maybe 21, 20, I'd say about 21 to 23 laps to go is probably what we're looking at the 5th stop being as of right now. But again, realistically, if we do get about 6 or 7 cautions in this one, I think they can make it on 1 less pit stop, but we'll see. We'll bounce into the wall for Biffle in turn 1. Stewart got by on the outside even with a little contact after the 16 had shot himself wide. Giving a donut on the left side of Stewart's race car. Keselowski's your pick to win at Daytona. He's had speed on the super speedways this year. Atlanta and Daytona. Charging into the back of the 20 of Stewart. Knocking him up out of the way to get back to 5th place, it looks like. Tony going really wide in turn 1. Turn 2, he's going to go even wider, and hard into the wall goes Stewart. In turn 2, one of many drivers to hit that wall on the outside of the corner. Metal guardrail is all it is, too. That's going to cause a lot of damage for these drivers every time they get into it, including Biffle, who has gotten into that wall only once. And it wasn't quite at that angle on the outside. It was on the lip where it starts to narrow up a bit more. Well after they're back into the gas. They're supposed to have been back in the gas. He actually cooked the inside wall in turn 1 on 2 occasions already today as well. Still sitting a little less than 12 seconds off the lead from Jeff Gordon. If not Keselowski, you'll say Blaney. And he's good on the super speedways. And at least through the first 9 races, this has to be the best first 9 races to start a season in Blaney's career so far. He's only 3 points out of first still on Chase Elliott for second. Or in second in points, and 3 points back from Chase Elliott for the lead in the points, and you consider the fact he's led the second most amount of laps this year by kind of a wide margin, over 300 laps led already this season. Tied for the most top 10s. I believe he has the best average finish. His average running position is highest of any other driver. It was right around 8 going into last weekend, then he ended up with a top 5. But he ran most of the race probably around that 7th and 9th range, which was, I guess, about 8th, so might have increased a little bit. The Devil of Talladega because of what he did in 2020 spring. Rookie like Harrison Burton running well at Talladega. He needs a good run. He was great at Daytona at the start of the season. And outside of speed weeks, he is not having any luck at all. Well, he's been having luck. It's been bad luck, though, for the most part. He needs a solid run this weekend. He had his first career start there last season, so maybe that'll translate a little bit. Big charge into turn 8 for Biffle on Ricky Rudd. Pass is made for 4th, clean at that for Biffle at lap 45 now. He is up to 4th place. Jeff Gordon still in lap traffic. The 3rd place car is the next one in front of Biffle. Rudd hits 1 and 2 pretty well and actually kind of closed the gap about a half a car length or so on Biffle. Biffle, the big power slide in turn 3. Oh, we got cars stacking up. Oh, we might have a crash. Biffle's hard into Paul Menard, who blew an engine and was trying to get to the outside of the racetrack. Heavy damage now on the 16 as he makes contact further with Ricky Craven into turn 3. Biffle gets around Jarrett for 3rd and actually closes in on Dale Jr., who leads this race, taking it away from Jeff Gordon in the lap traffic. But unfortunately for Greg Biffle, that left front fender is heavily damaged. And he's going to have to be very, very careful to make it to the end of this first run, as he's in danger of DNFing already. Happened so quick. They were 3, nearly 4 wide really when Biffle got there, and there was nowhere to go as the lap car was trying to go from the bottom of the track to the top because of where the pit road entry is at Old Spice Speedway. It's kind of on the outside of the racetrack, considering that it's mostly left-handed turns on this road course, and it's on the right-hand side. So, yes, Biffle closed on the lead, and yes, he gained a position up to 3rd once again. 2 bad things happened there. 1, Dale Jr. getting 5 bonus points, leading his first laps of the day, taking it from Jeff Gordon. And most importantly, Greg Biffle has heavy damage to his race car concerning this race right now as well. And Ricky Rudd, pretty good road course racer. I would say that is surprising, that he is in the top 5 right now. Looking for his first win of the year. He had a top 10, if I remember correctly, on the last road course race as well, at Dockside on the San Bernardino street course. Good news is, once Greg Biffle catches the next lap car, the 144, he's going to have quite a bit of clean air in front of him once again before he would even catch Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon. In fact, I don't think he is going to catch either one of those 2 drivers before we get into our first sets of pit stops tonight. Just needs to survive, take care of that left front, and try to get around Jason Kennedy in the lap car as quickly as possible. Menard was able to get to pit road. We didn't see a caution for that. Biffle looks to the inside of Kennedy in turn 8. Going to outbrake him. Kennedy leaving a lot of bottom open to let the lead lap car and the much faster Greg Biffle to get by him. Dark Crypto, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I don't think anybody saw Ty Dillon running as well as he did. I don't know if he's won a dirt race at Eldora or not back in the Truck Series. I guess you'd have to let me know down in the chat if he did. He had a great run this weekend, though. Oh my goodness, Biffle into the wall, hard on the right side of the car, luckily. I said luckily because it wasn't the left side, which is already severely damaged from the contact with the smoking Paul Menard a little bit ago. $15 likes already on the stream, and we are only on lap 50 of 333 on today's road course race, so greatly appreciate that, guys. Thank you for tuning in to our first stream in 4 nights on the channel. We'll be live again tomorrow night a little bit later at the Milwaukee Mile for the running of the next NASCAR Busch Series race on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005, as we have 13 races to go in the Busch Series side of things, 11 in the Cup Series following today's race at Old Spice Speedway. Will be the running of the Alan Kulwicki 250 250 lap, 250 mile race at the Milwaukee Mile again tomorrow night. That race will start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be our final stream until Friday. Because Thursday night I'm actually going to a concert, so I will not be able to stream that night. Old tires and heavy damage is definitely hurting Greg Biffle right now as far as handling goes. If it wasn't edgy before, it is just even edgier now. Gonna have to find a way to really tighten this race car up because of how loose it is. Through turn 6, sliding off the exit of the corner with the transition of the baking down to the flatter straightaway. Never won at Eldora. And wins at Atlanta and Texas in trucks. Is that it? I would have thought with winning the truck title that year, that 1 year, whatever year that was, early 2010s, that he would have won more races, perhaps. Yeah, I'm going to Fort Wayne, Indiana tomorrow night to see Trivium, Lamb of God, and Megadeth. Oh, sorry, not tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday night. The concert starts at 6, so I'm going to have to leave here around 2:30, 3 o'clock so I can go to eat and get there beforehand. I believe Dale Jr. just pit that last lap, giving Jeff Gordon back the race lead. This being a road course, won't have to worry about the cars further towards the front of the field going a lap down. So for Dale Jr. pitting right now, it's not a bad call whatsoever. Biffle's going to stay out as long as he can in case we get a caution flag. It's definitely risky considering the damage on the left side of the car, but with no traffic around him, he feels fairly comfortable, at least right now. We'll see as cars start to cycle off of pit road. If any are going to cycle right around Greg Biffle, it may make his life a little bit more difficult trying to make it to the end of this opening fuel run. But definitely been a struggle for Biffle as far as trying to stay out of trouble through just over the first 50 laps of today's race. Yeah, I'm pumped. It's the first time for me seeing any three of those bands. I don't really listen to Lamb of God too much. When I was first starting to get into metal, though, like 80s and 90s stuff was pretty much all I listened to at first. Like any kind of thrash metal, so getting to see Megadeth for the first time will be pretty cool. And Trivium, one of my favorite metalcore bands, and that's pretty much the main variety of metal I listen to now. So first time seeing them also, that'll be pretty cool. Caution, lap 54 in the middle of green flag pit stops, and that is what Greg Biffle was hoping for before hitting pit road this time. Oh, hard crash for Scott Wimmer, who was in the top 10. He got cleaned out from behind. I couldn't tell who hit him from behind. I believe it was Ryan Newman in the 12, who clipped the left rear of Wimmer right towards the pit road entrance, and Wimmer goes hard, head on, into the tire barrier at the front of pit road. So Greg Biffle will get to pit during the caution flag. And I wonder how many cars Gordon was able to lap with anybody who pitted in the middle of green flag pit stops. And Greg Biffle will get to hit pit road from the lead, it looks like. In fact, 4 tires of fuel for the 16. He'll get to repair the damage as his pit crew will go to work for the first time today. But to see Slaughter and Great White. When was that? I honestly don't really know too much of those bands, I'm not going to lie. Newman in his antics again. Yeah, he just turned Wimmer. Wimmer, a rookie who was in the top 10, having a great night. And obviously that's going to hurt his chances of having a good finish. This should get Biffle back in decent track position if it's a pretty fast stop, considering how many cars are likely going to be a lap down. 16.7 seconds on the stop. Graduate college of the Darlington race is awesome, man. Yeah, so pretty much anybody who did not pit before the caution pitted now. Dale Jr. will get the cycle back in the race lead. Greg Biffle will restart back in 8th. Green flag back in the air. Left front fender, fixed at least for the meantime, but we'll see if it will stay fixed. Biffle quickly getting down to the bottom with the lap traffic around him. That was big for him to get down to the inside when he did. Trying to back up turn 1 right now, hoping he doesn't get ran over from behind. A lot of cars going wide, including Biffle in the grass in turn 2. Charges the corner underneath Newman and his teammate Jeff Burton. Slides the rear tires 3 wide, and Biffle is up to 6th, gaining 2 positions in that corner. Oh, contact with his teammate Burton. Burton's in the wall. Contact with another car now. They try to regather it. Down into turn 8. Newman sideswipes a 16 who was already underneath him. Newman's been very aggressive already in this one over the last few laps especially. Just before the caution and since the yellow. Nearly 3 wide with Ricky Craven. Scott Wimmer. Craven just ran Biffle into the wall. Craven's up and over and drilled into the underbody of the race car by Brian Vickers. Our 3rd caution of the night, a devastating crash in turn 2. Oh my goodness. Terrible crash for Ricky Rudd, who was also having a great day. He was in the top 5 before the caution. They were 3 wide into turn 2. Rudd was in the middle. Drove right up into the side of Biffle, couldn't get off of him, and up and over goes Ricky Craven. Heavy damage to Biffle, who got sandwiched into the wall on the outside. He'll have to pit, and all that track position he worked so hard to try and get back in the top 10 for that restart on. Now he will have to drop to the back after being up to 6th place. 2nd accident he's been involved in tonight, our 3rd caution total in the first 60 laps. First concert, you went to Five Finger Death Punch. I've seen them a couple times in Toledo. I saw them open up for, I saw 3 Days Grace, and Five Finger Death Punch was actually the last concert I was at. That was at the end of December. It was right around Christmas, like the week after, the week before Christmas, 2019. And I saw them with Papa Roach, which was I think that was the 2nd concert I'd ever been to. And I think I saw him with Shinedown the other time. I've seen him enough now. We don't really get too many bands that go to Toledo, but they seem to go through there a lot. The first 2 concerts were kind of the 3rd one was definitely the better of the 3, I thought, with them. The first 2, they just kind of seemed, I don't know, it was like Papa Roach put on a better show than they did the first time, and Papa Roach was opening for him. Contact on the restart looked like with Biffle and Bobby Labonte. And then the second time, they literally had like the same set list as the first time I saw them, and that was like 2 years after I saw them the first time. Oh, 3 wide into 2, and around goes Sterling Marlin. They checked up a lot more than Biffle thought they were going to. Biffle turns Rusty Wallace right into the 169 of Jimmy Lane. Bobby Labonte had to go into the grass on the outside to miss the carnage. After just repairing the race car, now Biffle's going to have to come down and repair the damage around the radiator once again. Our 4th yellow of the day. Shinedown open. It was probably the same tour then. I don't remember what year that one was exactly. They've all been probably within the last like 4 or 5 years though. All 3 of those. Well, no, the Papa Roach one with Five Finger Death Punch, that was probably more... That was only the 2nd concert I've been to, so that was probably more towards like 2013, 2014-ish. But the other ones were probably from 2018. Honestly, it probably was 2018, 2019. Rest in peace, Rusty Wallace's car. It's not in as bad a shape as, say, Ricky Rudd or Scott Wimmer, who have had nasty crashes in this one already. Ricky Rudd flipping Off the exit of turn 2. Cautions definitely breeding cautions. We had that first yellow at lap 4, had a long enough green flag run, which was right around 40 laps or so, and now we've had 3 cautions back to back to back. And we haven't even gotten through a lap and a half of green flag racing since that second yellow. I did not mean to take fuel and tires there, by the way. I just kind of realized that I did. Well, I don't know how that's going to work itself out right now. Kind of an unfair advantage to pit for fuel and tires. I think I might give myself a pass-through penalty, honestly. I didn't want to do that because now it's going to put us different strategy unless we get a caution before that, because Michael Waltrip just... Waltrip just ran right into the back of Greg Biffle on the restart. Biffle trying to take advantage underneath Tony Stewart. Bobby Labonte almost into the wall on the outside. Big stack up into turn 3 again as Biffle's able to go down to the bottom and move his way up to 17th. Contact with the 10 of Scott Riggs. Hangs onto his car, slides up in front of his teammate Kurt Busch. Three-wide side swipe of Casey Mears. Kensington. Greg Biffle get together that time. Biffle under Labonte and Marlin. 3 wide. Biffle backed out. He didn't want to get sandwiched that time. Kensington the wall. It's a good thing Biffle got out of the wall, or got out of the way, because he would have got pinched into the wall by his teammate. Instead, he's able to make the pass and moving up now to 13th. He is on a little bit fresher tires with kind of an unfair advantage considering he brought out the caution before that. Casey Kane gets into the wall on the outside towards turn 2 now. Biffle is up to 9th. Big slide job on Jamie McMurray in the 42 car. Will come into lap 70 this time by Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the leader. Biffle has not led a lap under green flag. Led a lap or 2 under the last caution, but he hasn't led a lap since lap 3 in this race. Because on lap 4, he got turned by Jeff Gordon. Biffle gaining a lot of the track position. He's definitely going to make an unscheduled stop. Craven's into the wall again, running into the side of Biffle. The 105 of Kyle McCoy got into Biffle as well. Chain reaction of events there. Now the 3 wide in turn 3 behind. Still in 9th place after all that, but he is going to pit now for a pass-through penalty. 70 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit, trying to gain as much time as he can, and locks the tires up at the last second. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for Biffle as he'll short pit now. He shouldn't go a lap down taking the pass-through penalty here, but now he'll be on even fresher tires, and he'll be the last car on the lead lap at 24th, it looks like, and he should still be on the lead lap. I don't think a pass-through penalty is going to hurt him too much. Still very early in this race. I'm sure we'll see a lot more cautions in this one as well. I feel like the Usos turn on each other, I think, is the way RK Bro wins. That would be interesting. I didn't see the fallout of what happened recently on SmackDown. I did watch some highlights from Raw, though, from what would it have been last night. I watched that earlier today. Some of that stuff was pretty good. So Biffle giving himself a pass-through penalty, bringing out the last caution, pitting before that. Looks like he will go a lap down. Guess he was far enough back in the pack that he wasn't able to exactly cycle out. Dale Jarrett in second place. Dale Jr., though, is the leader. Could this be the day, though, that Dale Earnhardt Jr. can gain quite a few points on Greg Biffle, with Biffle struggling in this one so far? Biffle has much fresher tires, is definitely going to look to take that lead eventually here. Biffle trying to back up turn 8, fake the move to the inside. He'll try to beat Jarrett back to the gas off the exit of the corner. He does and closes. Quite going to get to the inside of Jarrett, although Jarrett giving a lot of room up. Down the longest straightaway of the racetrack into turn 1. Biffle hard on the brakes into the inside of Jarrett in turn 1. Jarrett gets into the right rear, nearly turns Greg Biffle in turn 2. Biffle barely hangs on. He is still the first car, one lap down. I ever want to play PGA Tour? Or on the PGA? I'm not that good. So, if I ever become a, well-known figure, say my commentating dreams come true in the sport of NASCAR, commentating races professionally there, or in some way, shape, or form, I get, somewhat celebrity notoriety, I would consider social media influencers or YouTubers in that realm if you have a fair amount of support and a lot of people know you. If I could get into like a celebrity pro-am on the PGA, that would probably be the easiest way to get in, because my level of golf is never going to be where the top golfers in the world are that you would see play weekly on the PGA Tour. And I don't want to doubt my abilities, but those guys have been playing golf a lot longer than I have. I have only been playing for I think this is the 7th year, if I remember counting correctly. This would be year 7 of me playing golf. And while, yes, I play pretty good for about 18 holes, I'm not a scratch golfer by any means. I still have never hit even par on an 18-hole round. I've done it on a 9-hole round, I think 5 times, and then I went under par on 9 holes once. My best 9-hole round is a 33. And I do have 171, which would be 1 over par on the course I was playing the other day. So, while yes, I am good in retrospect, I am not a professional by any means. I haven't even shot even par for 18 holes yet before, and those guys do it literally like 4 days in a row. So, on a tournament against the best of the best on the hardest courses. I'm on a local golf course and I still can't do it. I could get to that point someday, but I'm still going to be behind everybody else. Challenge almost at Somerset. No thank you. I'd lay down and just let him pin me. But as I do that, he'll probably just step on me or something, or pick me up by the throat and choke slam me. I don't know what his actual height is. I know his build height is 7'3". I don't know if that's right or not. Maybe he's 7 foot, 7'1". He's definitely very tall. I'm 6'4", I'm tall, but he would make me look tiny. Especially considering the fact I'm only about 184 pounds, 183 pounds at my heaviest right now, so I would just look tiny compared to that guy. Guarantee I would not be able to lift him. Snap me like a twig. Biffle on the fresher tires again, running down Dale Earnhardt Jr. Look at how much later he's able to break in turn 8 and close the gap on Dale Jr. He really wants to get back on the lead lap in case we have another caution. Try to put himself perhaps on a different strategy. With a potential yellow. Diving into turn 3, Junior with the wide arc. Biffle not going to be able to clear Dale yet. Side by side. And Junior gets the acceleration to actually pull out in front of the 16, but Biffle underneath them again on the inside through turns 4 and 5. Holding clear for now is Junior off of turn 7. Into 8. Junior with a squeeze. Really squeezing Greg Biffle. Pinching him way down as Biffle's able to make the pass. And Greg Biffle back on the lead lap. Junior charges hard into turn 1. Putting a lot of pressure on the 16 car, trying to put him a lap down again. Biffle back on the lead lap for now. Derek Booth says he could beat Homos. Hey, if I could play the heel, I'd be giving low blows I'd be distracting the ref and giving low blows all day long. It's the only shot I have of beating him. Sneak attacks. Hit RKO on Omos. He can catch me. I tried to do that to him. Getting sideways in turn 6. Holding on to the race car, keeping it on the asphalt before breaking into turn 8. 4 cautions already in the race today. All in the first 60 laps. We've gone just about 20 laps into this green flag run currently, a little less than that. I believe we went green at lap 66 last. Biffle's made 2 pit stops so far today. Not counting the penalty. So 2 pit stops so far. Everybody else has made 1. That is still in this race. Want any part of Edge, especially right now? Yeah, you'd give me a concerto or something. This race has been going on for a little bit over an hour right now, and still nowhere close to halfway. Yeah, and I don't think that stable's done growing either. They don't seem like a stable I'll be going after tag team championships between the two of them. Gonna alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Biffle sits in 24th. Starting to calm down that he's in the open traffic and a little bit of a decent green flag run going on right now as well. Just need to get himself into some smooth, clean air. Maybe it was best to pit not too far after the restart anyway, even though he did it out of penalty purposes. Pitting for fuel and tires during the caution is an unfair advantage after bringing out the caution flag. Been involved in 3 of the 4 yellows so far. The one he turned Rusty Wallace. He didn't really actually get in the accident himself. That was the most recent. Got pinched into the wall in turn 2 by Ricky Rudd. Rudd ended up flipping. That was the 3rd caution of the day. For being 3 wide in turn 2. And then the very first caution back on lap 4 when Jeff Gordon just flat out overdrove turn 2, got into the right rear Biffle, and Biffle backed into the outside wall in turn 2. Have been the accidents, and then we saw an accident at the pit road entrance involving Scott Wimmer, and then turn 3 was when Rusty Wallace got turned off the front bumper of Biffle while they were 3 wide and stacking up in front of the Biff after the restart to the 3rd caution. So those have been the 4 yellows so far. 1 in turn 3, 1 in turn 2, and then 1 on the pit road entrance. Around pit road entrance, which would have been turn 6. Biffle should be catching the back of traffic here fairly soon. Overdrive turn 2 a little bit. $18 likes on the stream, only lap 86 of 3:33. Most likely going to be the longest race, probably in channel history, not just on the season. So buckle up, smash that like button, helps me out a ton. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We'll have 3 more streams for the video game side this week, and then on Sunday we will be having a live stream of the live commentary for the Cup Series race at Talladega, the Geico 500. Our pre-race coverage begins at 2:30 with the live race commentary live stream starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You won't want to miss it. Tomorrow night's live stream will be at NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. That will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it will be at the Milwaukee Mile for the NASCAR Busch Series. 13 races to go in the hunt for the championship there. Just 11 for the Cup Series following this one, with the next race for the Cup Series on Friday night at the Daytona International Speedway. 400 miles under the lights on the oval for a super speedway restrictor plate race. Again, that will take place on Friday night. It'll be the next race of this custom schedule Cup Series season. Dale Jr., 48 points behind Greg Biffle coming into the race today. Hasn't lost a whole lot. It seems like when Biffle wins, Jr. is right there in the top 10 to top 5. In fact, even competing for the win in recent races, some of the time behind him, and Biffle hasn't been able to pull away much since Jr. took the points lead his first and only time about 7 races ago. Biffle overdrives turn 2, and now the right front fender is in the red again. Biffle's had many problems with contact today, and that's the first time he's overdriven that corner on entry and clipped the inside wall, but he's clipped the inside wall of the corner 3 times now. He did it twice in turn 1 earlier. After just getting his lap back, now he's going to have to try and... well, he's going to have to stay out. He can't short pit again until at least the rest of the field pits. And he'll be coming up on some lap traffic pretty soon as well, so he's definitely going to have to take care of the right front. Last thing he needs to do now is DNF. So I guarantee with where Junior's running right now, there's a good chance Biffle would lose the points lead if he does not finish this race. Probably can't afford to DNF the rest of the season, if I'm being honest. He's DNF'd twice this year. Both of them were in the first 8 races. Races 6 and 8. He hasn't DNF'd since, but he'd like to keep it that way. DNF is exactly what Jeff Gordon would need to try and get back into it and potentially make it a 3-horse race again, but he would also need Dale Jr. to DNF before the end of the season as well. Gordon's led laps already in this race. Tweeted Roman Reigns challenging for the title. Oh my goodness. Probably have a chance against Sakara, Rey Mysterio. I think you're underestimating them. Maybe Sakara, but Rey Mysterio's pretty fit, man. He's big for his size. Those guys are so quick, though, too. Like, they might be tiny. Or tiny compared to the big guys. I mean, they're still relatively, you know, built for their size, and they're very fast. Hornswoggle, yeah, there we go. I'd take out Hornswoggle. Dealing with the lap cars in front of him. Again, he's going to have to be careful with the right front fender in the red as he tests the traffic. Look to the outside in turn 8 for right now. Locks the tires up to keep it off the 123 as the 145 shoots the gap. Biffle backs the corner up as those two nearly made contact in front of him. And now Biffle making contact with the 145 of Scott Smith. With the right side of his car. Again, that is not what Biffle needs right now, and he really wants to clear Smith as soon as he can. And he will clear him, and Smith will overdrive the corner into the wall in turn 2, and Charlie Davis will get back around him for position. Both those cars were a lap down, so Biffle's still in 24th. Davion's only 5. So essentially what you're saying is Rey Mysterio is only 2 inches shorter than you, and is likely much, much faster. I don't know what your, you know, physical appearance looks like. I don't know if you work out or not, or you lift, powerlifting at all. Size-wise, as far as muscle, considering he's been working out for much longer time, I'd like to think that Rey Mysterio is probably bigger than most of us, if not all of us in the chat. Kyle Petty on the outside. Greg Biffle, that is not going to work. I think he just tried to widen the corner out, but he couldn't really get the rotation in the middle of the turn. Biffle up another position. It was not because of Kyle Petty either. I think somebody might have just pulled off the racetrack with a potential blown engine. If that may cause a stack up if they didn't get to pit road yet. Biffle putting the charge on the 41 of Casey Mears as he sits behind him on the main straight. Picking their way into turn 1. He'll back up turns 1 and 2. Trying to give himself the launch into turn 3 to the bottom of Mears. Slides the rear tires, but he'll slide up in front of Mears with a clean pass. Mears also a lap down though, so that was not for position either. Biffle coming in hot. Contact with Riggs. And Biffle with damage on the right side of his car. What has 336 dimples? I have no clue. Biffle going wide into the grass, slides the tires, hangs on. And he'll make the pass, on Ricky Craven. That was for 22nd. That was for position. Almost to lap 100. Historic cinematics. Welcome to the stream. Biffle under the 133. Randy Norton crowding Biffle. Again, probably can't make too much contact with the right side of the car. Norton squeezes him, and there was a little bit of contact there. Biffle out breaks him though into turn 8. Norton was already a lap down. Golf ball. I have no clue how many dimples a golf ball has. That seems like an awful lot though. I don't think that's right. I'd be shocked if it is. Not scared of the Undertaker. I was when I was like 5. But I think every 5-year-old was probably afraid of the Undertaker if you watch pro wrestling. I was also afraid of Masked Kane when I was really young. Fear no man. If you were locked inside a UFC cage with Brock Lesnar, I'm sure you would be very fearful. You say that now, you just haven't been put to the test of a physical specimen before. Great move into turn 8. Biffle had to lock the tires up to make the pass on Jimmy Lane. That was for position. 100 laps in, Biffle's back up to 21st. Michael Waltrip is the next car in front of him. I think already passes. He's not sure if they're on the lead lap or a lap down, really. Lane gonna overdrive turn 2. Not into the wall, but he got out into the grass a little bit. Biffle charges to Waltrip's back bumper off of turn 3. I wouldn't blame you for that, Joshua. Biffle into the back of Waltrip. That was a pass for position. Accidental bump and run, especially considering the damage already on the front of the 16 car. Waltrip going wide. I think he may have gotten into the wall on the outside. And maybe he didn't go in the wall. He definitely went a little bit wider. I think if he would have been in the wall, he would not have been able to clear the car on the top still into turn 3. But he was able to do so that time. Halfway on field for Biffle. Kali can't move though. He's big and tall, but he literally... He has grip strength, and that's about it, I feel like. He'll be running circles around that man. Got weak knees. I think Robert Griffin III has stronger knees than that man. Man, Robbie Gordon hard into the wall. He almost forced the car to his outside wide as well after making contact with the wall off of turn 2, which would have been, I believe, Sterling Marlin in the 40. So Biffle passed halfway on fuel and pitting early into this green flag run. Everybody else is probably not going to be able to go too much further on fuel. Maybe another 20 laps or so at the very most. So making the charge on Casey Mears, making a clean pass. Not for position though. Mears is a lap down. Scared of the great guy leaving you're little? No, not me. Granted, by that time when he showed up, I was probably like 7, 8 years old, so I wasn't scared of him anymore. But no, I can vividly remember Mass Kane and the Undertaker. Not the American Badass Undertaker, but the Dead Man Undertaker. When I was younger. That was... Those were the two. I mean, the Undertaker was literally burying people alive on television in front of my eyes, and I thought he was actually killing people. He hung the big boss man at WrestleMania. Hanged him from the cell. You can't tell me that wouldn't terrify a kid. I feel like you're watching a grown man die. There's definitely times where they got a little too graphic with that. I know if that was the current product, I probably wouldn't be letting my kids watch it if I had any. Not when they were like 4 or 5 years old at least. Give them nightmares. Boogeyman gave me the creeps. Yeah, I think the same thing with him. If I was a little bit older, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still creepy watching him eat worms. I mean, that was probably the creepiest part about it. But say what you will about, you know, them just playing a character. The guy still stuck the grown man still stuck live worms in his mouth. He probably wasn't actually swallowing them or anything, but I mean, he was still sticking them in his mouth though. Disgusting. Pass on Kurt Busch should be for position. Contact with the right front of Biffle's race car into the left rear and the left side driver door of Busch. More contact. I think Busch got a piece of the wall after the second initiation of the contact between him and his teammate. Biffle has to be very careful not to DNF. Slam the inside wall again on corner entry. This 4th time he's done that in a corner today. Jake the Snake, Maple Leafs Garden was epic. Axel was there too. Got the foam 2x4, yeah. Live wrestling shows are the best. Green flag pit stop started that last lap. Dale Jarrett's taking the race lead away as Dale Jr.'s on pit road. Looks like Tony Stewart's in the pits also. Biffle gonna try to stay out as long as he can. Terry Labonte gonna run him wide. Labonte's in the wall on the outside. Biffle barely keeps it off the wall, so he kept the right front clean. And off into the grass went Biffle. That was definitely costly. Remember, we had a caution in the middle of the only other green flag pit stops in the race today, so maybe we get another one here. Biffle with a major power slide in turn 3. So Paul Menard's going to be returning to the racetrack. Remember, he was in an accident earlier, or near accident earlier, which caused Biffle to get severe damage on the left front fender the first time. Now the severe damage is on the right front fender during this green flag run just after lap 100. Menard blew an engine. Made it through more contact with the right front fender between Labonte and Biffle. As Biffle makes the pass on the 5 car for position. Biffle's in desperate need of a caution before he DNFs. I don't know how much more the right front fender can take. Sad part is we still have just over 200 laps remaining yet. Closing on the 1 of Joe Nemechek. The sit line behind front row Joe for now. Nemechek pulling wide. Oh, and he just chopped him off. Biffle hard into the wall on the outside, and that is going to end his day. Joe Nemechek threw a bad block on the Biff. Biffle goes sideways into the pit road wall. The 3rd DNF of the year. Hard collision head on. He missed the tire barriers at the front of the pit road wall, but still hit the concrete wall on the inside. No safer barrier in this game, remember, and the points leader has just crashed with 12 races to go in the season. The right front fender was soft for a while, but that was a terrible block by Joe Nemechek. Sterling Marlin will go on to win this race at 5 hours and 23 minutes. The longest race in channel history. First win of the year for Marlin. It does randomize the finishing order when you DNF, so that's the good thing for Biffle. Except for the drivers who were already out of the race before him, which there were a few. Marlin will get the win, leading 14 laps. Brendan Gaughan leads 17 laps, finishing 2nd. Earl Hall 3rd. Kevin McCoy 4th, and Seth Taylor rounds out the top 5. Brian Vickers 6th, Jamie McMurray 7th, Ricky Rudd 8th, Scott Smith 9th, and Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 10. Matthew Mosley, I see you in the chat. Thanks for watching as well. That does stink. That is just terrible. Yeah, as DW would say, that is terrible luck. I don't know who led the most laps in this one. Looks like Dale Earnhardt Jr. led the most laps today, leading 60. So the driver second to points will lead the most laps. But he finished 26. He didn't finish that high up, but considering Biffle was 40th, Biffle did get 5 bonus points. He led a few laps today, but Dale Jr. leads the most. Finishes 26. Jr. still may be in the points lead, even though he did not have a great run. Jeff Gordon, who was 3rd in points, I think finished better of all 3 of them. He finished 19th. Still not a great day for Gordon. Also led laps, led 41. We'll definitely check the point standings before we get out of here. And because this was shy of the halfway mark, we will do trivia tonight as well. So don't go anywhere. We're not ending this stream. We'll have some trivia for a little bit as well. 5 laps led for Biffle. Paul Menard came back into the race and still finished, so he actually cycled ahead of Biffle. Otherwise, Biffle would have finished 39th if Menard didn't get back on the track. Jimmy Johnson blew an engine. Bobby Boone and Jeff Green also blew engines. They finished behind Biffle. 4 drivers DNF today. 5 cautions for 17 caution laps. 26 lead changes. Margin of victory 1/10 of a second. Average speed 92.58 miles an hour. Again, 5 hours, 23 minutes total time on the race today. Awesome for Dale Jr. It is. And Jeff Gordon. I mean, it's going to be really tight now. Gordon needed a bad finish, a DNF out of Biffle. Got it. And also, Dale Jr. finished 26, which is also going to help Jeff Gordon in the standings. And what was a 2-horse race for a while between Dale Jr. and Greg Biffle With Sterling Marlin pulling off his first win of the season. Dodge finishing 1, 2, 3, in fact, as well. That is very interesting. Our next race is at Daytona, which will be a tough one. Biffle has not been great there all season, and myself on the super speedways, especially in the Cup Series on this game, not very good either. Again, the Florida 400 will be the next race of the season. 11 races to go. 400 miles, 160 laps under the lights at Daytona. That will be on Friday night. Tomorrow night's stream at the Milwaukee Mile on the Busch Series side of things for NASCAR 05. I guess we're going to have some trivia tonight. I kind of figured it was going to be a war of attrition knowing how long this race was, and unfortunately we did not get anywhere close to the end. We weren't even halfway. Wow, Greg Biffle is still the points leader. And Dale Jr. is only 1 point behind him with 11 to go. So Biffle will hang on. He's led in the points all but one race this year. He'll hang on to the points lead with a DNF today, but Dale Jr. 1 point back. Jeff Gordon still over one race worth of points off the lead, but he has 176 points back still. So he's probably going to need a mistake from Dale Jr. and Greg Biffle again. And that was Gordon's time to shine. He finished 19th. Which was better than the other two, but he led laps, but if he could have had a top 10, even top 5 run, with those two finishing towards the back, those two, again, being Greg Biffle, Dale Jr., he would have been in much better shape. Man, that's just... I mean, that's going to make it more thrilling going into Daytona in the next one. That's going to be hard just to hold on to the points lead. Don't forget Talladega is a season finale as well. And that was despite Biffle started on the pole today, getting his 6th pole of the season. But he's going to need a good starting spot in the next race at Daytona. Those DEI cars going to be tough to beat at Daytona, Talladega. We have one more trip to both tracks this year. Still one more road course. Only 3 DNFs for Biffle this season have been on the fantasy road courses. 1 point. Setting up to be potentially a classic battle for the championship between Dale Jr. and Greg Biffle this season. Jr.'s still sitting on just 1 win, but he's only 1 point behind us. Greg Biffle has 12. And officially, after leading 5 laps today, he now has 2,508 laps led on the season. I don't think I can unlock any chase plates. I didn't think so. Gonna have to change I'm changing my paint scheme up next race. We're going back to the Granger car. We had a lot of success with that this season. Actually, you know what? We're going to drive the test car at Daytona. We need something new at Daytona. We haven't had any luck there. We're going to drive the test car. That will hopefully break us into the win column for the first time ever in a Cup Series race on an EA Sports video game. I'm really hoping. It's going to be the first time in probably close to, if not around a month, that we're going to be doing trivia on the channel. So I will get the display capture pulled up so we can do some trivia tonight. Bear with me for a second. my camera up. I'll get the chat going on my phone as well so I don't have to flip back and forth camera-wise. Let me grab my phone real quick. Well, I'm a little bummed out we couldn't get the finish of the race in for you guys. It's been a while since we've DNF'd, especially in that game. Again, only the third time that I have DNF'd on the season for the Cup Series on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. And because it's a DNF in the first half of a race, we do trivia if I don't get to the halfway mark. So, sorry for that one. Cue the duck. Well, we're not going to have one simple trivia question. What we're going to do is we're going to do a few different trivia challenges NASCAR related on this channel. You gotta hit NASCAR random quiz. Oh, that did not work. Hang on. Let's go NASCAR. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Yeah. DNF before halfway. I think this might be the first time I've DNF'd in the first half of a race on NASCAR 05 that we're doing trivia, though. NASCAR win leaders, NASCAR drivers 2008. Wind's starting to pick up outside. NASCAR Rookie of the Year, word ladder instructions. Done so many of these. Let me just skip a few pages. Let's go to page number 5 and see what they have. Get the picture, NASCAR or no. Can you choose which car racing tracks hosted a NASCAR race or predecessor series? Okay, let's do this one then. 4 minutes. We're going to shut the timer off on this one. We have 18 questions. We'll shut the timer off. So we have to say NASCAR track or no down in the chat. It's probably going to give us a picture. And I'm guessing this is going to count any of the top 3 series, I'd have to imagine. Because it says NASCAR Cup Series or predecessor series. So this is probably going to be the top 3 series of NASCAR. They're going to show us a picture of a track. We have to name if it was on the track. Road Atlanta. Oh, so, okay, never mind. So it's giving us the name of the track. It's giving us the name of the track. I don't think Road Atlanta hosted a NASCAR race ever. If it did, it was a very, very, very long time ago, so I'm going to say no. Okay, I was right on that one. North Wilkesboro, that one's easy. Trenton Speedway, that's... See, NASCAR raced on a lot of short tracks back in the day, so I'm going to skip Trenton. Laguna Seca, I'm going to say no. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, yes. Oh, it's... So I guess it is just the Cup Series. I thought if it was any of the top 3 series in NASCAR, because the Xfinity Series is raced there in Montreal. Well, it looks like I got one wrong. I misunderstood the question. I just misunderstood it. I thought when it said what does that say? Or predecessor series. Talladega, obviously, that's a yes. Nazareth is a yes. Oh, I forgot it's not the Cup Series. I literally just... I need to get my head in the game. Riverside has hosted a Cup race. Belle Isle has not hosted a Cup race. Nashville Fairgrounds has hosted a cup race. Walt Disney World, no cup race. Not for a points race, at least. Atlanta Motor Speedway, yes. Pikes Peak, Colorado. I guess they know. Okay. Kentucky has. Coda has. Myrtle Beach, not the Cup Series. Oh, okay, so they did host some Cup races. Langhorne, they did host Cup races. Texas World Speedway did host Cup races. Trenton Speedway, I'm going to guess, probably did host Cup races. So I got 3 of them wrong. Okay, so one of them I legitimately got wrong. The other 2, if I would have understood the question, I would have gotten it. I still wouldn't have gotten perfect. I did not like that. I didn't understand the question. I still got 83%, 59 is average score. Again, you guys can help down in the chat. I see you guys helping. What's the point standings now? 1 point lead for Greg Biffle. 1 point lead over Dale Jr. And 176 ahead of Jeff Gordon, so he's closing in. He was over 300 back like 3 or 4 races ago, so Gordon's coming from deep in the hole. Drivers who won at Daytona. (1959 to 2020). Top 10 NASCAR statistics. I feel like we've done this. Let me see what the categories are. DNQs, DNF. I feel like we've done this. This might have been just for the 2000s. I think we did something like this, but it was only for the 2000s. Now it is all time, it looks like. What was that, 1949? Hey, I need to back up. I need to see the year. What years were... Yeah. So, NASCAR top 10 statistics from 1949 to 2019. 10 minutes. We have to name as many as possible. Starts, wins, second place finishes, podiums, top 5s, top 10s, poles, laps led, running at finish, lead lap finishes, average start, average finish, win percentage, top 5 percentage, top 10 percentage points, earnings, championship, DNQ, DNF. Top 10 all time from the start of NASCAR 1949 until 2019. So, all but the last 3 seasons. All but this year and then the 2 seasons prior. So again, you guys can help me down in the chat. I'll start it. 10 minutes. We'll see what we can do. We got to get those big names. We're going to have Earnhardt in here. He's going to be on this list. Jeff Gordon's going to be on this list. Jimmy Johnson's going to be on this list. Petty is going to be on the list. Pearson's going to be on the list. Waltrip. Allison. Last names count for like any driver, so if they have the same last name, then they'll all be on here. Yarborough. Jarrett. Harvick. Bush. Ricky Rudd has a lot of starts. Morgan Shepherd's probably on here for something. Yeah, okay. Fireball Roberts. Okay. Unique. Nope. Weatherly. I need to Google Joe Weatherly. Hang on. I need to pause it when I'm Googling how to spell names. I just want to make sure I'm spelling it right. Joe Weatherly. The heck? Okay, so Joe Weatherly is not on the list. Labonte. Have Johnson. Nemechek's probably on here for something. Probably for polls. No, he's not on there for polls. But he was on there. We need to think of more of the greats first before we start forgetting. Drivers who have probably won a championship. Truex. Truex is not on this list at all. Other drivers who have won a championship. Well, Hamlin hasn't won a championship, but he's a great. No, he's not on here. Mark Martin's got to be on here for probably starts. Yep. Stewart. Kenseth. Edwards. Biffle, no. Top 10 in wins, 55. Who did I not? Rusty Wallace. Okay. So I got all the laps led, have the top 10 in wins. Second place finishes, I have one more. Somebody I haven't named yet. Like Speed? No, like Speed's not on here. 4.8 average starting position. That is the NASCAR record. That's insane. Jerry Nadeau was pretty good at qualifying, but I don't think he's going to be on here. No. Casey Kane was good at qualifying. He's not on here either. David Pearson, Junior Johnson. Foyt, nope. Andretti. Just trying to think of guys. They have to have a winning percentage. I thought David Pearson had the best winning percentage of all time. I did DNF. Yeah, Jeff Bodine's probably on here. No, he's not. Okay. One more podium, too. Marlin, no. I don't know why I tried Craven. Pete Hamilton? No. Turn my TV off. Tiny Lund. No, he wasn't it. This is the top 10 in any statistical category from any major statistical category from 1949, which is the first year of NASCAR, to 2019. DNQs and DNFs. Who have I not named yet? That J.J. Yaley's probably on here. No, he's not. All right, Stremme. Nope. Man, that's tough. Kenny Wallace, Mike Wallace, Morgan Shepherd. Hermie Sadler's probably on here. No, he's not on there. Stacy Compton. Nope. Buckshot Jones. No, he's not on there. Casey Atwood. They probably didn't have long enough careers. That's probably why they're not on here. Yeah, Rex White. Rexford. No. Burton probably on here. Jeff Burton for lead lap finishes. Wow. And earnings. Schrader? Okay, Ken Schrader's on the list. What did he pop up on? Running at finish. Laps. Wow. Laps completed. Ken Schrader's 10th all time. That's impressive. I do have Waltrip on here already. Stewart, Lund. Riggs isn't on there. Richard Petty has the most DNFs of all time. I mean, he did run, like, majority of the races for a very, very long time when they had more than 50 races in a season. So who are some other drivers that have just a lot of starts? Can't be somebody I've named already. There's no way Danica Patrick's on here. I was going to say, I know she wrecked a lot. Same with Stenhouse. They just haven't had long enough careers to get onto this list. I didn't put Bill Elliott on there yet. He was on the polls list with 55. Oh, Ryan Newman's on the polls list, 51. Jeremy Mayfield on here at all for something? No. Keselowski, I haven't tried him yet. He's not on here. Logano is not on there. I know Blaney's not. Man. This is getting tough now. Who's top 10 and second place finishes with 56 I have not named yet? McMurray? I know McMurray wasn't going to be one of those. I was just saying for maybe polls. 48 polls. Almirola. Nope. Clint Boyer? Tim Richmond. Yeah, he might be on here for something. No, he's not. All right. Well, never mind. Trickle, nothing. I'm going for these road course ringers for qualifying. Nope, none of them. I'll tell you. Testing my luck now. Annette? Josh Wise. Cody Ware. Gase. Timmy. Oh, I was going to try Timmy Hill. I ran out of time. I swear I forget Baker on like every other quiz. Dave Marcus, 4th all-time in starts. Slipped right by me. If Buck Baker's in the top 10 and top 5s, podiums, and top 10s. He was the big driver I was forgetting. Bobby Isaac, top 10 in poles, 48. Dave Marcus also in laps completed. Average start, Dick Hutcherson, 4.874. I never would have guessed that. I'm not going to lie. Average finish, Dick Hutcherson is 2nd all-time in average finish. Tim Flock with a 6.2 average start. Herb Thomas, Bonnie Flock. So I forgot a lot of these old names. Fred Lorenzen, Dick Rathman, Paul Goldsmith. Highest winning percentage is Herb Thomas. I honestly thought David Pearson had that record, but I guess that's for the modern era. Those guys were before modern era. Tim Flock was 2nd highest. Fred Lorenzen was on that list. Dick Hutcherson. Really, I only really forgot like 5 or 6 names to finish out the list, it looks like. DNQs. Dave Marcus was number 1. Of course, all those starts. J.D. McDuffie, number 2. Derek Cope. I should have had Derek Cope on here. Probably should have had Carl Long and Kevin LePage as a guest as well. Delma Cowart in the top 10. Mike Bliss also in the top 10 there. DNFs. Richard Petty had the most. I already had that. Buddy Baker, because I forgot him. He would have been on here. Dave Marcus, J.D. McDuffie again. Neil Castles. I'm not going to lie, I don't know who that guy is. Elmo Langley and then J.C. Spencer I've seen on other lists before. I don't know who Neil Castles is. But he wrecked a lot. 215 DNFs, whoever that guy is. We need to look up Neil Castles. Neil Castles NASCAR. Let's look up Neil Castles racing reference. Neil Castles, 87. Is he still alive? Good for him. This is not racing reference. This is NASCAR reference. Neil Castles not have a racing reference? Racing reference. Does anybody know who this guy is in the chat? Who is Neil Castles? Raced from 1957 to 1976. So he raced 19 years, 498 career starts. It's quite a few, considering they did run a longer season, though. Up until 72. Look at the DNFs he was having per season. Is that right? He let some laps in his career, 29, 31, 10. 3 seasons he led a lap. It doesn't look like he ever won in the Cup Series. But he had 51 top 5s and 178 top 10s, so it's not like he was terrible. He had, honestly, 178 top 10s and 498 starts for a guy I've never heard of. That's actually pretty good. His highest points finish was 4th in 1969, and then 5th in 1970. So he finished top 10 in points 5 times. He's definitely a good driver. I've just never heard of him. Never heard of Neil Castles, but he had 5 top 10 points finishes, and he finished top 5 in points twice in 69 and 70. Those were definitely his... Well, 1969 was his best season. 11.1 average finish. 14 top 5s and 30 top 10s. Wasn't it the year Benny Parsons won the title? 69. Just gotta look up DNFs. I don't think it shows it on this list. Average finish, running position, lead lap finishes. He never finished on the lead lap. Is that right? No way. LLF, that's lead lap. It is! You mean to tell me that this guy finished 4th in points in 1969 and never finished on the lead lap? How is that even possible? You learn something new every day. Not only that, he finished top 5 in points 2 years in a row from 1969-1970, and still, not once, not only in those 2 seasons, but his entire 19-year career, never finished on the lead lap. Never. Yeah, he failed to qualify 15 times. It isn't bad for those days. Probably had a lot of high car counts. It's pretty good. I'm still mind-boggled that he had no lead lap finishes in a season he finished 4th in points. Him missing 2 races might have cost him the championship. It wasn't like he didn't DNQ in those 2 races either. He just didn't run them. And then he DNQ'd in 1 race the next season when he finished 5th in points. So he probably wouldn't have won the championship that season, but who knows, he might have. How do you not finish? I need to try that in one of the Winston Cup points paying finishes, like seasons. Try to not finish on the lead lap and win the championship. That's probably never happened before. This guy still finished 4th in points, though, with no lead lap finishes. That's like a NASCAR. That's like if you were to do that on NASCAR Thunder 2004 in like your first season where you likely stink most of the year. Just don't finish on the lead lap and try to get like a high points finish. Maybe get some lucky cautions. That's incredible. I'm glad I looked this guy up because that is something. Bunch of heads down there. All right, let's find another quiz. NASCAR winners when Trevor Bayne finished in the top 10. How many top 10s does he have? Such a random quiz, too. Michigan winners. NASCAR Coke 600 top 10 since... Okay, let's try this. Can you name the NASCAR Coca-Cola 600 starting lineups since 1990? So anybody who started in the top 10 in the Coke 600 from 1990 to 2018 will be on this list. 290 names. Let's try it. Alrighty. This is the next quiz. We know Castle's not going to be on here. He retired in the 70s. Earnhardt. Petty. Marlin. Allison, Kulwicki, Elliott, Gant, Irvin, Jarrett, Labonte. I'm just starting in the 90s right now. Try to get these earlier ones out of the way first. Cope, maybe? No. He had a good season in 1990. It wasn't impossible. He could have been on this list. Jimmy Spencer. I don't know why I put Casey Meters on there this early. Bodine. Kenseth. Gordon's going to be on there. I skipped there for a second. I need to get the 90s, though. Stay on task, Keegan. 90s. Down in the chat, let's try to get some 90s names first. I see you putting Larson Logano in there. We'll wait on that for a minute. We have 18 minutes to try and get this. See if I can get 100%. Who started on the pole in the 1990, 91, 93 Coke 600s? Jeff Gordon had the pole 5 years in a row for the Coke 600. That's insane. Including his rookie year in 94 when he won it. Or never mind. That wasn't his rookie season. My bad on that one. Oh, Harvick, it's close to the 90s, but it's not. 2001 was his rookie season. Mike Skinner. Yep, Skinner's on there. Steve Park. Just anybody who raced in the 90s. That was 99. Mayfield. Wallace. Yep, Nadu. Schrader. Ken Schrader was on the pole in 1990 and 93. I have Spencer. Dave Blaney, 2003. Yep, Ricky Rudd. Morgan Shepherd. Waltrip. was going to say Pearson's not going to be on here. Yarborough is probably not going to be on here. It's worth a try for these guys, though. I know they probably didn't race that late, though. Dave Marcus. I know Johnny Benson? Okay. Couple more names from the 90s yet. Not Dale Jr. He was a rookie in 2000. Although I do have him on here already because I put Earnhardt Sr. on here. Thinking of drivers from the 90s right now. And then once I get down to like the final like 5 or 6 minutes, I'll go with the current drivers. Unless we get the 90 names before that. Got Labonte, Park, Wallace, Schrader, Mayfield, Gordon, Earnhardt, Jarrett, Elliott, Waltrip, Marlin, Shepard, Bodine, Kulwicki, Allison, Irvin, Rudd. I think that's it right now for the 90s. Hamilton, yep. Bobby Hamilton. He's on here a couple times. Quaffle wasn't that early, nor is he on the list. Nemechek. Okay. Nemechek had a front row start in 94. Now, we're starting with the 90s right now. And then we'll go to the 2000s. This is a new strategy. I'm trying to stick to it. I have some 2010 names, but not many. Stacey Compton? Nope. Man, we're still missing 6 names in 1996 and 98. Who would have qualified top 10. Who have I not named? Jarrett Labonte. Craven. Okay, there's one from the 90s. Craven took up like 4 of them, too. LePage? All right, Kevin LePage in 2000 qualified 6th for the Coke 600. That was a shot in the dark. I just run out of guys from the 90s right now. Oh, yeah, Jeff Green. All right, that's a good one. That was 97 in 2004. Sprague wasn't 90s, but I'll put him on here. 2003, his rookie season, he qualified 5th. Biffle was like 2000 in the Truck Series, I think. So was Bush. Burton, yes. Burton was 90s. Ward and Jeff. Stanton Barrett. No. Robbie Gordon started in the 90s. I already have Jeff Gordon, though. So it would have came up. Look at my die cast. Sadler started in the early 2000s, so I know he's... Figured he was on there. Yeah, I haven't. That wasn't working. I was trying to look at my diecast. I don't have any more from the 90s that I wouldn't already have on here. Mark Martin. I thought I put him on here already, but nope, I missed him. I missed Martin. Thank you for that. Yeah, I forgot about... I don't know how that slipped by me, but he was on the pole in 91. Front row in 90. Just have a couple more from the 90s yet. Keep trying to think of 90 names in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and try to work on the 2000s. So we can get this going. Hamlin. Newman. I already have Stewart on here, I think. Yeah. Boyer. Almirola. Kane. Richard Mears. Johnson. Earnhardt. Kenseth. Oh, I already put Kenseth. Edwards. Larson. Moroso is a good one. Yep, Moroso's on there. Kenny Irwin might be on here. No, he isn't. Like Speed? Okay, that was another 90s one that just popped in my head. Truex, Logano, Keselowski, include 2021 with this win. It only goes up to 2018 on the list. 1990 to 2018. Scott Riggs was on there. Scott Riggs qualified on the pole in 06. That's interesting. Good for him. Got a pole award and a crown jewel race. Danica Patrick on here? Yeah, Danica qualified 4th in 2014. Is that Almirola with Petty when he qualified on the pole in 2012? 43? It's pretty cool. Biffle. I think I already have Biffle on here. David Reagan. McMurray. Montoya. Ambrose. Almirola and Ambrose were on the front row in 2012. What a time to be alive. The Coke 600. Yaley. Yeah, J.J. Yaley qualified 4th in 06. David Stremme 10th in 07. Maybe Buscher's on here. Made me think of Buscher because of you saying RFK. Trevor Bain, 10th in 2016. Suarez? Okay, Daniel Suarez, 10th in 2018. 2016, qualified 3rd. Regan Smith. Okay, he was 10th in 2012. That 2012 starting lineup is something else. 2016 qualified 3rd. 2011 outside front row. Who was good in 2011? Edwards, Stewart for the title. Have those guys. I did put Stenhouse on here already. I think. Oh, no, I didn't. Stenhouse qualified 3rd and 9th in 2011. I was thinking I put him on here already. So we have everybody from 2013 to 2018. We need 9th qualifying spot in 2019 yet. It's the newest one. One in 2010. 2011 have a couple. 2009 have a couple. Rudeman probably on here. No, I don't think he is. I'll pause it just to make sure. Hang on. David Rudeman. I see Allmendinger down there too. Yeah, I spelled his name wrong. Many times as I spell it, I somehow... Yeah, David Rudeman. Michael McDowell, maybe? Nope. Brian Vickers. Vickers is on there. Try Allmendinger. Allmendinger's on here. Oh, wow, we have, like, all but one of the 2010s. 2009, 7th. 2005, 8th. Mike Bliss. Mike Bliss in 05 and 09. 2012, we're forgetting the 9th place starter. And then we have to go back to 2004, 7th. Guys, we have 2.5 minutes. We're almost there. Restall Cup, welcome to the stream. Man, who are some guys we have not named yet from that era? Josh Wise. I was going out. I was reaching for the stars on that one. Try Casey Mears already. $1998, I'm missing a lot yet. Menard. Thank you. Paul Menard. Alright, so we're good until 2004 and 7th. Okay, now I gotta think early 2000s. I don't think... Yeah, Dylan wasn't on here. Okay. Yeah, we had all of them. $60 seconds. Johnson. Yeah, this is tough. We got 274 of 290. Put LePage on there already. Who? Shepard. Carl Long. There's no way. Who am I kidding? Try Jones. Try Compton, Atwood. Okay, I had like 10 seconds left and I ran out of time, but Rick Mask, Greg Sachs, John Andretti, Rick Wilson, Jimmy Hensley, Dick Trickle were the 90 names. Elt Sawyer, Chad Little, Gary Bradbury. Those are all the 90s. Brendan Gaughan qualified 7th in 2004. So we literally have all but Brendan Gaughan from 1999 to 2018. That's why I started with the 90s, because I figure I can get most of the 2000s. I don't know. It would have taken me a while to guess Gaughan, I'm not going to lie. That would have been the 77 car. Penske. 94% though, average score 78. Well, you tutor me, that's what it says. Alright, one more quiz tonight. Can you name the NASCAR National Touring Series winners from 2010 to 2019? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So this is anybody who has won a Truck, Xfinity, and Cup race in the 2010. So that would be years 2010 through 2019. Any driver who has won from 2010 to 2019 in any of the top 3 series. 91 names, 15 minutes. This is the final quiz. I feel it, guys. I think we can get 100% on this. It's been a while since we've done quizzes, and we're 3 for 3 on hitting the average score tonight, but we had 94% on the last one. We did great. We did great as a team. But let's do this. 2010s. Anybody who has won. That 146, I know right out of the gate, is Kyle Busch. So we'll go Busch. We'll go Earnhardt. Just big names. Casey Kane. Jimmy Johnson. Jeff Gordon. Skipping a little bit. Ambrose Montoya. Said Pappas did not. Bellows did not. Alright. Johnny Benson did not win a truck race. Okay. Alright. Stay on task, Keegan. Let's go back to the big names. Harvick. Newman. Boyer. Waltrip won a truck race. Brendan Gaughan. Yeah, we'll get Gaughan out of the way before I forget him again. Gaughan, Allgaier, Sadler, Justin Haley won a cup race. Allmendinger, Hornish, Vickers, Stewart, Stenhouse, Priest, Byron, Elliott, Blaney, Bowman, Pagano, Keselowski, Mears didn't. Sorensen's won some Xfinity races. Sorensen. Okay, he won one Xfinity race. I thought he won more than that. Scott Riggs was in the 2000s more. So was Green. Menard won the Brickyard 400. Crafton. Sauter. Bodine. Biffle, Edwards, Hamlin. Yeah, I didn't think Labonte was on there. Jarrett was retired. Bubba Wallace. Oh, I have Allmendinger already. Truex. Yeah, going out of order is going to hurt me on this. Cowboy Steals win. Welcome to the stream. Oh, look, no skill, Stenhouse. I did have Stenhouse. Hey, he won 2 Xfinity Series championships. Let's not discredit him there. McMurray, Larson. Oh, Yaley wouldn't have won one. Oh, John King won a truck race. Custer. Reddick. Gregson. Creed. Oh, no, Creed was 2020. And that. Barry wasn't that. I did have Brian Vickers. I have Larson. Gillen. Mike Skinner win a truck race that late in his career? Nope. I don't think Sprague did either. David Ruderman. Michael McDowell? Okay, yeah, he won an Xfinity race. Road America, that's right. David Reagan, yep. Trevor Bain. Mark Martin. .53, 9.5 minutes to go yet. I try Hornaday yet? No, not yet. Now I have him. Ben Rhodes. Enfinger. I do have Menard. Skip Kenseth. I didn't think Bobby Hamilton Jr. had any that late. Yep. Dillon Brothers. Almirola. Scott Legacy, yeah. That's a name I have not heard in a while. I don't know if that's how you spell his name, though. He won at Talladega, didn't he? Let me Google his name. Scott Legacy Jr. Scott. L-A-G-A-S-S-E. No, that's not on here. I think that was in the 2000s. I don't think that was the 2010s, but that was a very good guess, though. Chase Briscoe, yes. Brandon Jones. Eric Jones. Christopher Bell. John Hunter Nemechek. One Cup win, 6 Xfinity wins in the 2010s. Huh. A lot of one truck winners. PK. He won a couple, though. Got Speed. No, that wasn't early enough. We had John King. I'm trying to think. Timothy Peters. I was thinking Red Horse Racing. Parker Kligerman. Cale Gale. '69 of '91. 11 truck wins. Dennis Setzer? Ooh, no. Crawford. These guys were more 2000s. Yep, Ryan Reed. Pastrana never won. Hemrick. No, Hemrick didn't win until last year. So he wouldn't be on here. Moffitt's on here. I do have Bubba Wallace already. Have to be forgetting some Cup guys. Regan Smith. I got Allgaier. Got Annette. Junior Motorsports. Gregson. Reddick won there. Sadler won there. No, I already have him. Yeah, Michael Waltrip won a truck race at Daytona in 2011. I do have him on here already. Too late, Marlin's career. Too late there. Bobby Gerhardt ever win a truck race? No. Come on, you can think. Cindric, yes. Busher, yeah, James and Chris. Townley. That was another Red Horse Racing. Oh, no, that wasn't Red Horse. But Casey Mears wasn't on here. I just put Cindric in. 76. We're only 15 away, guys. So close. A lot of one-time truck and Xfinity winners. Some of these might be Cup guys now, too. That's what I'm trying to... I think we have all the Cup winners from this era. All the ones we need now are guys that won truck and Xfinity races but never won a Cup race. I thought I put Gilliland. Yeah, I did, because I put Todd Gilliland on here. So that would have counted if David won any. Chastain. That's a good one because he has one now, but he didn't win at the time. Aaron Crocker never won anything. Figured I'd check, though. Brendan Poole. Oh, he got that win taken away from him. Never mind. I was thinking Talladega. Got the win taken away, though. DJ Kennington never. I'm not even gonna guess that. I know he is not on here. Burton, Harrison Burton. Jeb Burton. Brian Scott. That's a good one. I do have Sorensen already. Oh, no, that would have already been on here. I'm trying to think of truck guys now. I do have Ryan Preece. Yeah, Mike Wallace is on here already. I'm running out. Running out of time. 12 left. Just over 60 seconds. Who are we forgetting? 12 of them. Robbie Gordon win? It probably would have showed up when put in for Jeff Gordon earlier. I do have Townley on here. It's my name. My camera's covering up some of the answers that we've already gotten. On the bottom right with one win. Leffler, nope. Wow. Daniel Suarez, Xfinity champ. Austin Hill, Stuart Friesen, Justin Lofton, Ben Kennedy, Kaz Gralla, Joey Coulter, Spencer Boyd, Tyler Ankrum, Justin Marks, Spencer Gallagher, and Jeremy Clements. I mean, if I had unlimited time, I probably would have gotten them eventually. But considering that we only had, 10 minutes? Not bad. 87%, 68. I felt really confident about that. I kind of want to do this for the 2000s. National Touring. Let me search for 2000s. NASCAR National Touring Series winners. No, that's the only one. They don't have it for the 2000s. I was going to say, if they had it for the 2000s, I was going to try that also. $2000s. Oh. Let's go NASCAR Series winners 2000s. Points race, Cup. That's it. NASCAR winners. Points race winners 2000s. It's just Cup race. Yeah, I'm not seeing it for all three series like I... NASCAR winners from 2000 to 2009. No, okay, no, I found it. Hang on. Don't leave now. I did find it. Okay, so for 2000 to 2009, this is going to be our last quiz. 15 minutes. We have an extra 5 minutes here. So, final quiz of the night. Timer's at 15 minutes. We have to name every driver who won a cup race, a nationwide, and truck race. Nationwide would be Xfinity. In the 2000s. So, for 2000 to 2009, there's 154. We only had to name 92 in the last one, so it's, or 91 in the last one. So that's probably why it's giving us an extra 5 minutes. But we'll see if we can do it. I think we can. One more quiz. This is the last one. Okay. Earnhardt. Gordon. Jarrett. Just going with the champs right now. Wallace. Going with the champs. Stewart. Johnson. Gordon. Oh, I already have Gordon, my bad. Bush. Truex. Cano. Keselowski. Put Ricky Rudd on here for whatever reason. Don't start doing that, Martin. Hamlin, got the Bush brothers. I'm starting to go off topic. I need to get the champions first. Elliott. Well, that would be Bill Elliott, but still former champ. NASCAR champ, I should specify. Labonte. Have Jarrett. Kenseth. Is that it? Did we get all the champions? Bush. 2002 was Stewart. 01 Gordon. 2000 was Jarrett. Yeah, I think I have all the champs now. So we'll go Stuart Haas, Boyer, Almirola. Danica never won any Newman race there at one point. I'm thinking now, though. I'm not thinking like at that time. Maybe I shouldn't have started with Stuart Haas. Casey Mears. We'll go Hendrick. Anybody who's driven for Hendrick. Nadu. Schrader did not win the top 3 series. I knew he didn't win a cup race in that time. I was like, maybe he won a truck, but that was not the case. Bodine. Ricky Hendrick, right? Yep. Case Kane. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna start going random. Vickers. Ard. Sauter. Hornaday. Uderman. Yeah, McDowell's was in the 2010s. Or said Pappas. Oh wow, Pappas was not here. Fellows is. Craven. Green. Briggs. Sorensen. Strader won in trucks. It must have been in the 90s, though, not the 2000s. Yeah, it must have been in the 90s. Hornish is not on here. He didn't win in the Xfinity Series till the 2010s. Regan Smith. No, that was 2010s. Allgaier. That was 2010s. Sadler. Gallagher was 2010s. Edwards. Hamilton. Sprague. Bliss. Setzer. Crawford. Peters. McMurray. Benson. Biffle. Oh, Bain was 2011. Stenhouse. Nope. Not till 2010s. Dillon was probably 2010s. Jimmy Spencer. Yep, Harvick. No, Legacy's not on this one either. I guess Scott Legacy never won a race. I was thinking he might have won a truck race. Kligerman. No, that was all 2010s. Martin. Must have had him on here already. David Reagan. Waltrip. Steve Park. Mike Skinner. Marlin. Stremi, no. Yaley? No. Montoya, Ambrose. Mayfield. Yeah, I already have Elliott. Dave Blaney. I do have Truex. I do have the Burtons. Zane and Chandler Smith were in the 2020s. I have Bush. I only have one more Cup driver left. 3 Cup wins. Somebody who won 3 Cup races in the 2010s that I have not gotten yet. Oh, yeah, you're right. Nemechek. Yep, that would be it. All right, so we have all the Cup drivers. Now drivers who just won truck and nationwide races at the time. That I have not named yet. Crafton, yep. Atwood. Nope. Never mind, that's not on here. Stacey Compton. Nope. I do have Blaney. I have Ruderman. It wouldn't be John Hunter Nemechek that was on here, but it was Joe Nemechek. Larson wasn't there yet. Gordon would have been on here already. Robbie and Jeff, of course. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Leffler. Tried him in the last one. I didn't get it. Yep, Wimmer. Keller. And we almost have all the nationwide names, too. They have a few more. Quaffle. Thought I put Riggs in here. Got Green in here. Musgrave's a good one. Have Hamilton. Reason won twice in the trucks, if I'm not mistaken. Not in the 2000s, though. He wasn't even racing then. Yeah. I was gonna say he hasn't been in the truck series that long. Yeah, Moffitt wasn't gonna be on here. I did try Kyle Petty. I'm surprised he wasn't on there. I thought maybe he could have won a nationwide race or something. But not in the 2000s. I did put Crafton on here already. Thought I did. Yeah. Do have Johnny Benson, because they have all the Cup winners. Missing a lot of truck names. Some Xfinity at the time. Bodine. I thought I put him on here. Yeah, I did. I think I tried Reagan. Yeah. Andretti. No, that was a good one though. Yeah, Brendan Gaughan. Tim Fedewa. Terry Cook. Andy Houston. All right. I do have Ambrose. I have Wallace already. Yeah, because I would have had Rusty. Ashton Lewis? Nope. Kevin Grubb? Nope. Buckshot Jones. It was in the 90s then. Don't have Mike Wallace. That was in the 2010s. Would have had to have been the 2010s then. Or I do have Mike Wallace on here somewhere. Yeah, it would have been 2010s. That was the last quiz. I'd have to have him on here already then. Yeah, 2000 Daytona. Mike Wallace is on the list. I have all the Wallaces already. Randy LaJoie, yep. Randy LaJoie. I do have Dennis Setzer. Joe Ruttman. Thank you. I forget him on a lot of lists. Well, that's it. David Starr, Chad Chafin, Eric Darnell, Michigan. Robert Presley, John Wood, Colin Brown, Rick Carlelli. Hank Parker Jr., Jeff Purvis, Shane Meal, David Gilliland. I thought I had Gilliland. Oh, that was on the last quiz. I think I had Gilliland. Brian Reffner, Donnie Leah, Brian Scott, Scott Speed, Randy Tolsma, Brandon Witt, Mike McLaughlin, Stephen Light. And that's it. 88%, average score 67, 135 out of 154. I'm telling you, one of these times we're going to get 100% on the quiz. I just don't know exactly when it will be. But that's going to wrap things up here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you are just tuning in, again, I did DNF on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. Unfortunately, I ended up DNFing there as the third of the season, so that's why we did trivia tonight. And we didn't even get halfway through the Old Spice Speedway race. Supposed to be the longest race of the year, and ended up going on for 5 hours, 23 minutes just without us. So thank goodness, I guess, maybe. If we had to DNF in a race, I'm glad it was that one. But we'll be back at it again. Next Cup race on the schedule for the Nextel Cup Series will be Friday night, and it'll be at Daytona. But the next live stream on the channel will be tomorrow night, and it will be the Busch Series at Milwaukee. So Busch Series at Milwaukee tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And a little, not as tight of a points battle in the Busch Series. We only have a 1-point lead over Dale Jr. now in the Cup Series after the DNF today. So although we have DNF 3 times, we still have the points lead barely with 11 to go. 13 races left heading into tomorrow night's Busch race on the Busch Series side. Biffle is the points leader there as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate the support as always. Road to 2,000 subs. Road to becoming a NASCAR commentator down the road. See you guys tomorrow night.